Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm humbled to have been asked to give this talk about Frugal and my take on how circular economy, social, and women entrepreneurship can deliver frugal innovations. Thanks a lot to Alan Morales from Santa Clara University and Maria Toivonen from Brazil for asking me to participate in this edition of the Frugal Innovation Association in Latin America's uh, digital event. And thank you all for attending this event today. I am Venkata, founder in Frugal Association and lead organizer for Frugal Annual Conference in Helsinki. I wear so many other hats as well. So just a bit of background about me. I'm an engineering graduate, having done my studies in India and USA and been working in US and Finland. I was a climate researcher for 5 years before I decided to become an entrepreneur in 2011 and started out by setting up my own consulting business and then to help finish businesses in India. And this is where the origin for InnoFrugal has happened, basically. So this is, as you can see, a timeline about InnoFrugal. So having helped a whole bunch of corporates and SMEs, I started encountering a vexing issue. What was happening more often than not was these Finnish businesses which were interested in selling in India the solutions they created for Finland and other developed markets. And then this was okay when the solutions were absolutely critical and needed, and there was a niche market for them. But most of the time, the consumers, both in B2B and B2C in India, were fixated on price. They always said great things about this finished product or service, but ended up buying a more affordable alternative. And during this time, I came to know my current co-founders for InnoFrugal, Antti Erling and Jukka Kaljoinen, who themselves have been serial entrepreneurs. Then after having a lot of chats and talks with them, we decided that we need to change how businesses approach emerging markets and to educate businesses, especially to understand and rethink their offerings and see if they want to go along the path of diversifying their solutions and product portfolio. So, and this underlying theme pushed us in creating what used to be called the Nordic Frugal Innovation Society, which we rebranded it as InnoFrugal just a year ago. Yes, so basically we started in 2013, and then we started our annual event in 2014 as a small event, and then we have been doing these InnoFrugal conferences ever since. Especially in 2018, Professor Jaideep Prabhu from Cambridge Business School, who was one of the co-authors for the Frugal Innovation and Jugaad Innovation books, and who is also on our advisory board. He took InnoFrugal to Cambridge and started InnoFrugal UK conference. And then the next year, in 2019, they did the second InnoFrugal UK conference, and then there was also this Fraunhofer from Stuttgart, Fraunhofer IAO. They wanted to do InnoFrugal, and they did InnoFrugal Germany, and then so that was great to have those kind of organizations coming and participating and doing InnoFrugal events in different countries. So that was quite nice. That what we started in 2013, started to grow bigger and started to be more like a phenomenon. And in 2021, this year, we actually got funding from it's called the Horizon 2020 project, called Francis Frugal Innovation by the People for the People. Basically, through open innovation challenges with two industry partners. One is Bosch Siemens Home Appliances, and then the other one is a solar startup called Helios. They're going to do open innovation challenges aimed at Germany, Turkey, India, Egypt, Uganda, Bangladesh, and specifically at people who are either like old people living alone or minimalists, or a different sets of people who are looking for frugal solutions So this is for us a great project. It's a 3-year project, by the end of which there are going to be solutions catered to these type of people in the particular markets I've mentioned. This year in 2021, we did not do the Frugal Innovation Conference in Frugal, but in 2022 in May, we are going to do a whole Impact Week in May 2022, between May 2nd and 6th. So we are excited about that aspect. And we also have been doing a lot of, we naturally saw over the period of hosting Frugals that startups and social entrepreneurs are a big part of this movement. And we started, and then, the financing also is such an important part. So we embraced impact investing because those are the type of investors, especially funding startups. And then we have had a startup pitching competition ever since 2017. So this is something that we are very proud of and excited about, in fostering frugal innovations as well. Yes, so briefly, our mission at Frugal is creation of sustainable economic growth by co-creating good quality, accessible, and affordable solutions. And then, like I said, our main activities, we do these Frugal conferences, right? And then impact investing is something that we embrace to facilitate matchmaking between startup SMEs, nonprofits, and impact funds. Another thing that we recently started is impact podcasts. So we're going to produce some podcasts and put some good conversations out there. And then we also do a lot of workshops for different types of organizations on how to enable frugal innovations within those organizations. Yes. So when we talk about frugal innovations, I always say, what are we? We should be asking ourselves, and we are constantly asking ourselves, we are value conscious, yes, and values conscious. Value conscious, I mean, you talk about you want to see what the value is, maybe price wise and so on, but then you've got values as well. Your sustainability is an important thing, reducing inequality is an important thing, so on and so forth. But another question, like asking ourselves, do we want to do more with less? Can we innovate under resource constraints and cost controls? How can we learn about high impact, new tech, quality, accessible, sustainable, and affordable solutions? So these are the kind of things businesses have been mostly asking themselves, and people have been asking themselves as well. And then, like I said, there are a whole lot of constraints out there, especially for businesses. There are different types of resource constraints: business financial resources, infrastructure resources, material resources, environmental resources, research and development R&D resources constraints, consumer purchasing power. On the other end, that's a constraint. People or if it is a B2C, if it is a B2B, maybe are not willing to pay more for a certain type of solution. So what do businesses do then? The big underlying trends over the past decade also, I believe, are a big enabler of frugal innovations: design thinking, minimalism, and then climate change awareness, with the COP26 in Glasgow and whatnot. So when we at Frugal, we always said, what is frugal innovation? But some people might be doing a solution based on circular economy or the sharing economy, or some people are doing based on inclusive business. Some are doing grassroots innovation, or they're they're in a makerspace and doing a solution, or they're doing open innovation challenges and getting to some solutions. But at the end of the day, if you go through any of these things, and if you're going to get to an affordable, accessible, sustainable solution, we call these frugal innovations at Frugal. And the purpose and the impact of these things are very important. It's important to remember the why. We have the sustainable development goals for 2030. We believe that if you want to have no poverty or eliminate hunger, or good health for everyone, good water for everyone, you can't do any of this with only expensive solutions. There is an absolute need for affordable, accessible, sustainable solutions. And This is where frugal innovations come into the picture. Um, I was asked by Alan if I can, suggest a circular economy solution and tie it up. Also mention women entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship at the same time. I thought like I will hit three birds with one stone, and I have a great example of a circular economy based startup, which is a social enterprise and is led by a especially led by women entrepreneurs. And what they're doing is something what I would say is a frugal innovation. It's a very affordable solution that's in the market. So the thing I'm talking about is, there's a great example of, oh, I don't know, most of you might have seen this already, the circular economy quick overview. So there's various ways of, getting to the circular aspect of things, going from the technique waste to, either, recycling or so on and so forth. So I don't want to go through much into this at this point. You obviously all know a lot about this, I believe. I just put it here for reference sake. I want to quickly now go to the example that I wanted to talk about. This startup is called Sati Pads. They have a beautiful backstory. What Sati Pads is a purpose-driven manufacturing company that makes eco-friendly hygiene products. So they have, like I said, a backstory. In 2015, there were these, founders from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology in US, and then Nirma Institute in India. And then they came together to create a fully eco-friendly compostable sanitary napkin using locally sourced banana fiber from the state of Gujarat in India, right? So what they did was they asked themselves, why were they only doing biodegradable pads? And so this was like something that is a no-brainer for them, because biodegradable and compostable, it needs to be that, because the traditional sanitary pads that are used are not just sustainable, and they are not just environmentally friendly, but they're also expensive for rural women or even urban women in different lower socioeconomic strata. So according to the founders at Sati, so many consumers have issues with irritation or rashes from the plastics and chemicals in standard pads. And then the average conventional sanitary pad contains 3.4 grams of plastic. This means that over her lifetime, an average woman will generate 60 kilograms of plastic just from sanitary pads alone. And in 2016 alone, there were 150,000 tons of sanitary pad waste in India. So in contrast to this traditional sanitary pad ecosystem, Sati pads, what they are is they're biodegradable, which means they degrade within 6 months, 1,200 times faster than plastic pads, since these pads don't contain, chemicals that are used in like everyday pads. So they also provide a rash and irritation-free experience. So just wanted to go through like what's in this pad, like I said, like technique waste to kind of like a circular thing. So they're non-biodegradable plastics. The traditional pad is contain non-biodegradable plastic, chemical perfumes, and additives, dioxins for bleaching. And where does this all go? So technique waste, no privacy for disposal is one big thing. So sometimes you're flushing, they put in general waste, open disposal, burning, all bad choices. But what Sati pads? So again, so this is also what Sati pads does. It's taking from the banana fiber, and then and then making it in a way that it's going to be biodegradable. But what is the thing that is making it biodegradable is this At the end of its life cycle, sati pads is going to be biodegraded plant matter, which basically gives the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which is obviously fertilizer material, uh, which is of immense use from that point of view. Yes, so basically the picture previously I showed was technique waste, but then Sati, what it is doing is technique waste to once it becomes a biodegradable solution, it comes back into the same banana plantation that could be used as fertilizer for those banana plantations, and then the cycle goes on. So a great solution where there are these women entrepreneurs, Christina Kagetsu, who's especially now leading its the operations and doing a lot of fundraising for Sati pads. It's a social enterprise. There are like women involved in this thing, where women empowerment is a big thing. Where local communities of women are involved in creating these sati pads, and yeah, and it's a very affordable solution. It's a sustainable solution. It's an accessible solution. So it's ultimately a frugal innovation. It's a circular economy based solution. So I believe it ticks all the marks that was asked of me for this particular presentation. So what are the benefits of frugal innovation in this sense? Like, I believe, frugal innovation, it'll bring new skills or type of workers, especially women, to the research and innovation area, including skills development and future skills needs. Frugal innovation will increase access to technology through simplification and getting more affordable price points. It'll help speed up transition to a carbon neutral society by involving public sector, private sector, and NGOs. This is a great case study. The Sati Pads is a great example of that. And the other benefits, businesses and organizations, what are they going to gain? Again, they will see clear economic benefits. They will know how to innovate under cost controls. They will be able to lower their carbon footprint and reduce waste. And they can also improve their brand image. This is not going to be any more greenwashing or impact washing. It is actually what they're doing. They don't need to resort to those kind of greenwashing techniques anymore, because this is the core. This is within the DNA now. Again, from my systems level, valuing local innovations by being done by big businesses, entrepreneurs, social enterprises, women entrepreneurs, etc., means like there's a widening economic participation that's happening. In this sense, it could lead to increase in local employment and local production, which means frugal innovation will be a key factor for capacity building and entrepreneurship. So this is something quite nice. So I believe, genuinely believe Latin America is the next enabler and frontier of frugal innovation. So I challenge the businesses in Latin America and ask them, is your business taking the next step to innovate and create sustainable economic growth that leads to reduced inequalities and realize the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals? President John F. Kennedy in 1962, he had this speech about flying to the moon. We chose to go to the moon because it's not that it is easy, because it is hard, right? In a similar fashion, I also urge and challenge you in the audience and elsewhere, the businesses elsewhere in Latin America especially, to bring about using frugal innovations for the realization of the Sustainable Development Goals, not because they are easy, but because they are hard, because the challenge is one that we are willing to accept, and one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. Thank you very much for having me.